Good morning. Good morning. So it is Easter Monday and I want to give everybody a big hug. So follow along with me. Please give yourself a big old hug. Now, if you can't do it here, or you have arm problems, you can't reach, bring them out here and follow along. So that is some love from me to you. Today we are going to do hip love, low back love. They're all interrelated. So we are focusing on the hip flexors, the Psoas group. So we have Psoas major, Psoas minor, and iliacus, and they work as a team. If you have stiff low back, these are usually the culprits. Now, it's kind of counterintuitive because they're not on the back here necessarily, but they do attach to the vertebrae and the discs of the lumbar spine. And then they kind of travel forward and attach into the lesser trochanter, so the inside of the leg bone. And when those two spots come together, they help to flex the hip, or if you're seated, bring the knee up. What's really interesting about them is that they travel, Psoas major travels up above the diaphragm. So there's actually like a small opening in the diaphragm. And it's fascially connected there. It's fascially connected to this lovely little sternocleidomastoid, this guy that goes from the collarbone to the back of the ear. And then to the back of the head. So sometimes, just that fascial connection can get really tight and cause a whole world of problems. So I want you to think about that for a minute. It's quite a long chain of events, isn't it? So I've got this nice long scarf, Easter colors. And imagine I connect it to the fascia here on the back of my head and feel it run down the front of my neck. And I'm just going to hold it here at the inside of my leg bone. Everybody see that? So this is fine if we're sitting, right? But what happens if we go to stand up? So if you stand up and hold those two statically, it's like forces me in this hunched over position. And in order to keep my eyes level on the horizon, I have to stick my nose out. And maybe walk like a duck a little bit, stick my back out. So, ouch. So we want to think about these muscles kind of sliding apart from each other. And a great way to practice that is put your hands on your low back here. We have this big piece of fascia on the low back, and when you move, it moves, right? So we're going to start with the inhale, and we're just going to feel it kind of come together, and exhale, it's going to move apart from each other. Inhale, exhale. So you can go along. Put your hands on your low back. You can put them together here. So inhale, they come together. Exhale, kind of round through the back and feel them slide apart. Inhale, bring them together. Exhale, feel them slide apart. And you can also use your diaphragm to help massage them. So because of the fascial connections and the location, the diaphragm is going to move over top of the psoas and slide down along it, almost giving it a massage. So think about breathing in and the diaphragm moving down and flattening out. So that's kind of the action of it. And what's happening is the diaphragm is going to massage the psoas muscle. So already that can start to feel kind of really nice for this muscle. I treat it really often, especially if there's anything going on with the neck. I think that the hip flexors are very important. It can be a tricky treatment. Actually go in through the stomach here a little bit. But most massage therapists can treat that for you, so look into it. So we are going to activate and stretch this muscle. So I got a couple of props with me today. other than this beautiful Easter scarf. Number one, we'll get this book. So I'm going to put that on the ground. You won't be able to see it. And I'm going to stand with it on one foot. I've also got this little chair to hold on to. So I'm just going to stand on it. So if there is a weakness in these muscles, like your hip's going to kind of stick out to the side. And I want you to think about the top of your hip and the bony part here kind of coming together. So that's going to activate your gluteus medius muscle, and they're going to pull those two up together. So we're strengthening these ones, and this leg should be up off the ground. And we're just going to kick it a little bit back and forth. Feel it stretching apart from each other. That same kind of coming apart, that sliding apart. So nice breath in. Okay, good job. So if you step off of your book and you have both feet on the ground, how does that feel? Does that feel, one leg feel longer than the other? One leg feel shorter? Do you feel it more in the front? Do you feel it more in the back? What happens if you go for a walk? Should feel great. We're going to also do the other side here. Similarity. So stand on one foot. Good job. Now remember this side, right? I'm going to lift it up and let that hip flexor lengthen. Use gravity. So that should feel really nice, letting it stretch out. Another way we can stretch these muscles is I'm going to actually get down on one knee. Good, one knee out in front. And one knee behind. And I'm going to move a little bit so you can see me a little more clearly. That's better. So we want to resist the urge to do this. Matemba finger. No, thank you. That's not what we're doing. These muscles are stabilizing muscles of the low back. So we are not going to try and stretch them while we're stabilizing. You're actually going to hold on to something. You're going to take that tension out of the muscle completely by supporting yourself. And from here, I want you just to think about your tailbone growing really long and heavy. I almost get a good stretch in this position just by visualizing that kind of lengthening of the tailbone. If you're not getting a stretch at all, you can imagine the front of your hips here, these two bones in the front, shining up. So they're just going to kind of imagine them lifting up and the tailbone sinking down. And you're going to do this kind of posterior rotation of the pelvis. It's really juicy, really nice. So that's a good way to stretch those guys out. Remember to do both sides, and the therapeutic dose for stretching is 2 minutes. Enjoy!